Hey guys, and welcome back to Brexit. Brexit England, Northern Ireland, and Eastern Europe. And today we have the Grey Report. What a lot of bollocks! Right, we've seen bits of it, yeah, and the bits that we've seen is completely devastating. So we'll have to see what happens with that shit. But we also have Nigel Farage slamming Boris Johnson because of the levels of immigration coming into this country. Nigel Farage has had the cheek, the audacity, the liberty to turn round and say it's all Boris Johnson's fault when it's his fault. You know, Nigel Farage was warned, he was told what would happen in this country, yeah, if you stop the white Europeans from coming over. You'll get a lot more brown and black people. And I think that all that dinghy spotting has gone to his head. He must have been drinking some of the water out of the channel or something like that, right? Better still, yeah, that bitch someone should bathe him in the Thames water. That's what should really happen to him. But Nigel Farage, right? The level of stupidity, right? And I just find it so fun. I find it hilarious, right? That Nigel Farage is complaining. In the same way, right, that he complains about the dinghies, right? And the dinghy started coming over, yeah, after the vote to leave the EU. Before then, we never had any dinghies coming over. Before 2016, we never had any dinghies coming over, right? The minute we voted to leave, right, the French were just like, well, all of these people want to get to England. And now, right, England want to leave the EU, so, we no longer have any allegiance to them. Right? So the French is just like, and just allowing these people to go through. And all of these things here is down to people like Nigel Farage, right, who now, right, it's not even like he's regretting his actions, because Nigel Farage, right, wants this country to be completely destroyed, because you've already seen, right, that we've got more jobs than there are workers to do the jobs, right? So clearly, even with the influx, right, more black and brown people coming over, right, we're still seriously missing the EU, the EU workers. We're still seriously missing them, because there's so much jobs in this country that can't be done, right, and people like Nigel Farage, right, is still going down to Dover and pointing at dinghies. Right, still winding up, right, his base, like his Tory base, right, which the majority of them, right, have come from like a National Front or a BNP background. Because where do you think all the people from the National Front and the BNP vote now? Where do you think they vote? Do you think they vote? Do you think they voted for Jeremy Corbyn? No, they'll vote for Boris Johnson. So that's why Nigel Farage had so much power in the last election, if you remember. Nigel Farage had more power, right, than, especially for someone who's never won a seat, right, like an MP seat. I know he's won, he's a MEP, right, but for someone who's never won like a seat, right, in this country, he seemed to have one hell of a lot of power, right, and he could just literally dictate the last election, and he did. He basically gave it to Boris Johnson. Right? And now he's complaining, right, about his very own actions. Well, Nigel Farage, can't you go back and do some more dinghy spotting or something like that? That would probably be the best use of your time. Just keep winding up your fucking Egypt followers. Right? And I'm sure they will, they will enjoy you winding them up and telling them that, all of their problems, right, are the fault of bloody immigrants. And also, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages you sent me, and a special thanks to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that have signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go through all the messages, I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all the messages for definite. That story was so funny, Nigel Farage. I mean, it's just like, you just have to wonder, you just have to wonder, this is just like, it's all Nigel, isn't it, really? And then, we have the murder, right, of little Ava White, who was murdered by by a teenage boy. I think he's 14. She's either 12 or 13 years old, right? But he murdered her at the Christmas parade in 2021, over some argument that they was having over Snapchat. He pled not guilty because obviously he said that he said that this little girl was too much for him, so he had to take out a knife and defend himself with a knife, right? So this was Christmas 21. Well, it was in lock, wasn't in. I don't think we was in lockdown, was we? We were just literally coming out of all that type of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because this is like, I don't know, what are we now? 22. So yeah, so Christmas 20. It must be Christmas 21. So it's only what? It's only 5 months ago now, isn't it? So yeah, yeah. So it's only 5 months ago. But we wasn't. I don't think we wasn't in any type of lockdown, was we? Really? Because it was Christmas. So. But yeah, so he's murdered her, and he's going to be sentenced. He's going to be sentenced, I think, next month or the month after. He's going to be sentenced for that. You know what I mean? But it's just a very, very sad story that you think that, especially a boy to stab a girl and to murder a girl like this. You know what I mean? This, I think this just shows you. I mean, that our society has really. It's really dropping. It's going as low as it possibly can go. When you've got boys, right, stabbing girls, that doesn't. That's a situation that doesn't really happen. Do you know what I mean? You get it in couples, but a boy who's having an argument with a girl, on a general basis, they don't pull out a knife and stab her and murder her. Do you know what I mean? It's that could be another boy that happens to. That he does that to, but like to do it to a girl is just like that's just terrible. It's like shocking behaviour. Then we have to move on to America, where we've had another mass shooting. This time, 19 children, right, a teacher, right, and the guy's grandmother, right, all murdered at the hands of this 18-year-old. Again, in America with these gun laws, I keep the only laws what they need to bring in is to take guns away from people. That's the only law they need to bring in. You can forget, trying to toughen up the laws. Right, you can't. It doesn't matter how tough the laws are. Once people can get hold, right, of these type of weapons, right, they can always go out and do these type of things. The Americans need to have an amnesty and just say, you know what, by such and such a date, everybody needs to hand in every single gun they've got, right, and then after that date, right, they say if a gun is found in your house, right, every single person in that house over the age of 18. Right, is going to go to jail for a minimum of 10-year period. Right, so you just say, listen, a gun now. If you have a gun, you're getting 10 years in prison. That's it. If a gun's found in your house, everybody goes to jail for 10 years. Right, that's it. Doesn't matter whose it is. Right, it shouldn't be there. So everybody's blamed for it. Doesn't matter whose it is. Right, that's how they, and if they want to be serious about it, but it's all the partisan bullshit. Right, that you can have someone run up into a school and shoot 19 children and their teacher, right, and right, you'll still have people, right, arguing for the gun lobby. Right, the gun lobby. The gun lobby. They give millions and millions of dollars to the Republicans every year, and this, right, is the Republicans. This is all down to them, right? They are the people, right, who make sure that the Democrats can't get any gun laws across because they just bring out their filibusters and make sure, right, that the laws can't be passed. Right, the NRA, right, are directly responsible, right, for these 19 children dead, right? Ted Cruz, Senator, right? Ted Cruz is directly responsible. This man has taken, I think just so far, maybe just so far this year, something like 130 or thousand, right, from them in donations to just him alone, right? And then you've got Governor Abbott. Right, he's the one who believes it's okay to allow 21-year-olds, right, to walk around with guns with no license. Right, so this is the reason why these people are in these horrific acts. People going in, right? This is a primary school. These are 10-year-old children, 10 years old. Right? There's nobody. The only people more innocent than a 10-year-old is a 9-year-old. Right? These are 10-year-old children, right? And these people have allowed this to go and happen again, right? Slaughtered, right, by weapons that people are allowed to legally have. Right? This guy, right? They're saying, "Oh well, rifle. Fuck rifle. It's a machine gun." This guy went in there with, right? And before the police could even respond, right? This guy's already killed 20 people, right? Then the police turned up there and shot and killed him. But before they could even respond, that's how lethal the weapons that these people, they've got military weapons that you can buy in Walmart. Right? This is psychopathic behavior. Right? The country, right, is psychopathic. Right? You can't live like this. How the fuck can you live like this? Where people are going and murdering your most innocent. As bad as I say, right, and I speak about this country and the people in this country, yeah, we would never allow, right, this to happen to us, right? For people to run up into fucking schools and to murder our children. Are you fucking sick? Right? You're fucking psychopaths, right? You're mad people. You're crazy. Right, to allow this to keep happening. It keeps on happening to you, and you have to ask yourself why it keeps on happening to you. Right, it keeps on happening to you, right, because of your politicians, right, the fucking right-wing politicians that you people, right, that you people are always playing, right, these culture wars, right, that you're playing all the time, right, this partisan bullshit, right, allowing senators, right, to take millions of dollars, right, off of the NRA, right, knowing that they're allowing lethal weapons to get into the hands of people who could have psychological problems, right, and go and pick up a gun and go to a school and murder children. We had Dunblane in what was it, 94, I think, or something like that, and the government over here just stepped in and said, you know what, never again. And don't happen over here, because we wouldn't allow it to happen over here. We wouldn't allow that in our society. We would find it unacceptable for people to go into a school and to murder children, 10-year-old children. We would find it 100% unacceptable for that to happen in this country, in the United Kingdom. Right? That can't happen. Right? Why the hell, right, can it happen in America, right? And whether or not this guy had these weapons legally or illegally, it doesn't really matter, right? Because you can if you've got legal weapons, sure bloody you can buy illegal weapons, right? Kids stand outside of shops and ask adults to buy cigarettes for them. Okay, people, right? People do stuff like this. They sell legal weapons illegally. That will happen, right? If you notice yourself, you're living in a country that's full of guns, right? And people break into someone's house. They're breaking in there to steal their weapons. It doesn't make any sense. It really, it really doesn't make any sense. And then when that you've got 22 children in America that get shot every day and at least 5 of them die. That's when you've got a real motherfucking problem, right? And you have to sort your shit out, right? You really have to sort your shit out. You've got Ted Cruz who thinks it's okay to blame the Democrats. Right? If it's down to the Democrats, they probably wouldn't have guns, or they'd probably have very, very, very tight gun laws, right? And if you've got very, very tight gun laws, right, the more incidents you have, the more you can tighten up your gun laws, and eventually one day say, well, no citizen can have these, right? Fuck this amendment or whatever the fuck it is. None of you can have them. But Ted Cruz thinks he blames the Democrats. He blames the press. It's the woke press's fault, right? And all this type of bullshit, right? And and today these guys will be I know, before I've even seen what they've got to say, I know what they're going to be arguing today. they're going to be saying, you know what, we need to arm the teachers, give the teachers guns, let's get some more guns up in there, more guns, so you know what, when someone comes in we could have a proper shootout, because it is fucking Texas after all, and we all wear 10 motherfucking gallon hats and ride around fucking horses. Give me a fucking break, right? You give teachers guns, right? Do you realise, right, in Buffalo the other day, the security guard had a gun. He's an ex-police officer, right? And he shot at the suspect. I believe he hit him twice, but the suspect was wearing heavy body armour. So if someone runs up in the school and they're wearing heavy body armour, teacher's not wearing heavy body armour, suspect's wearing heavy body armour. Right, so now they've got a crossfire going on, because now the teacher's got to keep shooting back, because you know it's not just one shot that's going. It's not just one shot, because you shoot him once. Oh, got body armor, got to shoot, got to carry on shooting. Now they train their gun at you. Now you got crossfire. Kids running about, right? Teachers running about. You know, police officers running about. You got this person shooting, right? Because this guy's got body armor, so they've got to keep shooting. You know, it just makes for an old-fashioned Western, right? The only way, yeah, that the only thing that you people need to realise, yeah, that your problem is your society having guns, and until you get rid of guns in your country, you're still going to keep on having mass shootings, and these things have been happening from the 1920s, right? So if anybody thinks, right, that this is going to change your mind, this is not going to change anybody's mind, because they vote in people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who found it necessary to chase down, I think it was one of the kids from like Sandy Hook, I think it was from there, right, but found it necessary to chase him down, right, telling them that he's a liar, right, and there was no mass shooting in his school. And you've got one of the hosts from one of radio programs or something like that, or he might do like a podcast or something like that, but he's been like, he's been taken to court, right, because he's been denying, I'm sure it's Sandy Hook as well, been denying it, right? So he's been taken to court, and the court has found against him, as well, right? So he's having to pay loads of money out. I think he's even bankrupting him. Right, but these are the type of people who they've got pushing all their nonsense in America, right? Marjorie Taylor Greene, a person, before she become a congresswoman, right? She chased, I think he's 16 or 17, chased him down the road while she had a gun in her purse, right? Chased him down the road, calling him a liar, and he's a survivor, right, of a school shooting, right? And in America we can say there has been over 212 mass shootings up till today in America, right? This year, just this year, 212 mass shootings. Whoa. Boris Johnson is a proven liar. These pictures has emerged, right? And I don't know if you saw Panorama last night, but obviously, there's so much stuff come out in Panorama, right, where the security guards are being mocked by these people, because security guards are saying to them, listen, you shouldn't be having this, you shouldn't be partying in here now, right? This is our job to stop you. Shut up, you fucking plebs, right? Because you know what, all of the people who work in there, yeah, they're all the posh boys, isn't it? Now, the police and the security, they're just working class people, so they're treated like plebs. They don't know better, right? While these guys, right, are having like your wine time Friday, sitting on each other's laps and dancing and singing loud, right, and drinking and throwing up all over the place, right, and bins overflowing, right, people sleeping on sofas, right. Because they got far too lashed the night before, right? So they had to stay in Downing Street, because what happens. This is what happens when you have a wild party. So these guys was partying hard, right? And they was being told by the security guards, listen, you can't be doing this. And they're just mocking the security guards, just like just telling them, who are you? You're nobody. Right, because remember I said the security guards, they're just going to be, they're in a more of a prestigious role, but they're just they're just basically a security guard. They're not like, there might be you might have some of them that are ex-soldiers and things like that, right? But they're not they're there to, not they haven't got the same capacity as the police, because remember that place is patrolled by armed police. So the security, so security is just there for the inside, just for the inside, to do certain bits inside, right? But it was typical, right, that was going to be the type of behaviour, because as these people know, right, they, right, are above all of us. So that's why Boris Johnson can have a press conference, right, knowing that he's walking into a party, right, and they knew exactly what they was doing at the time, because on Panorama, obviously they're interviewing the staff, so obviously the staff, they knew exactly what was going on, and so that's why we know all about the mocking of the security guards and all these type of things. And then obviously we've seen the pictures. We've got a lot more pictures to come out from the Grey report that's supposed to be coming out today. But it's just like, well, these are the people who you vote for, isn't it? So if you vote for these people knowing that they have a complete disrespect for you, then you have to say, well, what was you really expecting? What was you really expecting? This is just who they are. But the lies that Boris Johnson has told Parliament. Obviously, we all know now for definite that everything that Boris Johnson went and told Parliament, right, he completely misled them. It's just all lies. Everything is just a lie after lie after lie. Right. And so obviously this is the reason why he tried to get Sue Gray to ditch the report a month ago now. Just trying to get to completely, because he knows what's coming out in it. But whether or not, the British people will look and say, well, we don't know, but what about the dinghies? So and then there's the whole Rwanda plan as well. So these are the things that always keep the Tories in power. When you start telling people, oh, what we'll do for you is we're going to send a load of black people to Rwanda, brown people to Rwanda, right? We're going to allow the police to start stopping and searching. That's a good one, isn't it? We get the police to start stopping and searching. That's a good one. It's just more red meat, right? But because these people want to hear that, that's what they want to hear. So they're prepared, right, to put up with this level of corruption from Boris Johnson, right? Because they can't get past their petty racism. So they are prepared to put up, right, with this level of incompetence. Right, they're prepared to put up with this level of cheating, of thievery, right, because, right, of their hateful nature, because they can't accept that there are people who are different to them. What a sad place, right? And you see, all of these things, it's all how that's happened in America, little Ava White being murdered, is because of this right-wing society, right, that people want to live in. They want to live in an ugly, dirty, stinking, nasty society. That's what the right-wing want to live in, right? They want to live in fucking filth, right? All the time, constantly. That's the reason why they can't get on with others. Because they just I don't understand that brain power, right, where you just want to have where you just want your life to be angry all the time, you just want that's all you're looking for, is just anger. Everything in your life is somebody else's fault. So it's them people's fault. The evacuation of Afghanistan, right, the report has come back and it's been like one of the worst ever reports. It's in fact the worst ever report by any parliamentary committee ever. The worst report ever. And I think the report had probably highlighted the truth, because the truth is, right, that Biden said, we are going to come out of, what was it, on the before the 20th anniversary of 9/11, right? And then Britain, right, was shocked when the Americans started pulling out. Britain was like, oh, what's going on here then? They were shocked. They didn't realise that the Americans was pulling out, even though the Americans told them they was pulling out. And now you see they're quick, because you see the whole of the right wing in this country. Oh yeah, it's all the Americans' fault. All of that what you see in Afghanistan, it's all their fault. But because the Americans, they yes, they did tell us when they was moving out, but we're British, so we expect everyone to dance to our tune. And that's why they've got the title, right, of having the worst parliamentary reports ever. Right? Well, Dominic Raab, remember Dominic Raab? That's why they coined the name Deck Chair Dominic Raab, right? A man who is just as stupid, as Deck Chair Senator Ted Cruz, Cancun Cruz. These guys, right, could be brothers because they're just as stupid as each other. Right, just as thick as each other, right? Dominic Raab on holiday, right, didn't come back from his holiday, right, when all the bullshit started to bust over in Afghanistan, right? And who do you think, right? Who do you think is going to lose their job over it? Yeah, one of the civil servants is getting. I think the head civil servant is saying, "Oh well, it was all his fault." It's all the civil servants for the no name guy. Obviously, we're soon going to find out his name, but the no name guy is always their fault. The civil service. A lot of these guys. Are most of them come from middle class backgrounds and all them type of things. You know what I mean? But those are the people to blame. Right? When the posh boys, right, cause all the problems, they always look around for someone to blame. Right, and they always blame, right, those people who want to be the posh boys, right? So a lot of times that's going to be like your working class and your middle classes, but that's what the posh boys always do. They always throw, right, the people just underneath them under the bus, and that's what you're going to find happening now, right? All of this is going to be down to the civil service. It was all their fault, right? Even though America told them what date they was virtually moving out, but it's all civil service fault. It's all the Americans' fault. Everybody else's fault. But whose fault is it, that 750 people a day in this country are going to food banks? That's new people. 750 new people a day are being sent over to food banks, right, in this country. Why is it, right, that the rich are just getting richer and richer and richer by the minute? Right, but you know what? When it comes down to the poor and the working classes, there's nothing in the tank for you. Even though we are the motherfucking veins of the country, right? And now they want to start knocking the train drivers because the train staff, innit? Because I think the whole service is looking at going, having the worst strike, right, in living memory, right? Because they're paying, their conditions are whack. Right. And you had I heard that fool Nick Ferrari talking about yesterday. Oh, train drivers, you get £59,000 a year. Right? What do they do for it? Say, shut up. Right? Every single time you've got the working classes, right, who might earn good wages, right? You've got the rich knocking them. Oh, why are they getting that money? Right? They never ever, right, start knocking people who have got £10 million in the bank. Right, but you've got the train drivers, right, who have got a fantastic union, right, so they've managed to get themselves a fantastic deal, right, and instead of, right, people saying, no, well, good on them, right, my wages should improve. Oh no, why are they getting that? Why should they get that much money? The problem is, what you should be saying is, why aren't you, right? You should be going to your boss and saying, why aren't you getting that type of money? That's what you should be doing. Not looking down your nose at them and saying, well, it's too much for them. Well, just knocking the working classes all the time. Right? But that's what you get. That's what you get in this country. If you've got working classes who earn good money, how dare they get all that money? Why should they get that? And it's the other working classes who do it. But it's the media, right, who instruct these people. This is what you must do. This is what you got to do. Look at the working classes next to you. Right, look at those people. Right, it's all their fault. Everything it's all their fault. They're getting too much. right? Forget someone who's storing millions of pounds in the bank. Forget about them. Right? Look at the person who's earning 40 grand and say, you know what, you're getting too much fucking money. No break, man. Seriously, seriously, you know, this country has just gone. It's gone from worst to worst, and then to bad, and then worst to worst again. This is a fucking shithole, right? The way how it's being run, right? And I'll tell you why. Because Ofgem say in October, right, it looks like we're going to have a next price hike again, right, of about £800. So that should put the standing charges to the £2,800, just under £3,000 a year, right, to pump, you know, to pump energy into your house. So, wow, really? Yeah, and there's people out there, yeah, who are getting seriously rich off of it, right? While we are all in fuel poverty. People was in fuel poverty, right, before they raised it, £700 in April just gone. People was already in fuel poverty because it was it was £1,300 a year then, right? And so people was already in fuel poverty. Right, and then they went and raised it another £700, so to £2,000. So that right just said, well, you know what, you can forget fuel poverty because you know what, I'm just not using no fuel. So you've got loads of houses now where people don't use their fridge. Right, even when they go to the food banks, yeah, they can't take things like potatoes. They can't take stuff that they need to boil or they need to bake. They can't take that stuff. But they haven't got so much people haven't got gas or electric to cook this type of food, right? But we're in the fifth largest economy in the world, right? We've got so many billionaires who are getting richer and richer by the day, right? By the day, right? What the people of this country need, yeah, is a universal basic income. This is what Jeremy Corbyn was working on. Jeremy Corbyn and John McDonnell and that black chick. Diane Abbott, right? This is what they was working on, right? But people was like, oh no. We want, right, a high wage, right? High skilled economy. Say, really? So what, you really fell for that then? The high wage, high skilled economy. You really fell for that? Really? So when you get the high wage, high skilled economy, yeah, who's going to do the low wage, right, the low skilled jobs? When you get that, who's going to do those jobs? See, these people don't think about these things. They just hear, oh, leveling up, right, and black people and brown people to Rwanda. That's all they hear, right? And every single time they're stupid enough to fall for it. And look at the state of what you've allowed this country to come to, right? Until its future border plans are in place, the UK will have to trust the EU, right, meets current standards when sending goods. So I believe that's what you call taking back control. You see, I tell you this, right? When people talk about taking back control, you need to take back control of the things inside the country, right? Not the control of what was being controlled by our government, by people that was helping us, right, watch over our government, because that's what the EU really is. It watches over like governments in countries, right, and it identifies what people need, right, and then it pays money out to those regions in those countries, right. That's one of the EU's main tasks, right. So now we've so obviously when we've left that, right, we haven't got no one to do that for us, right? But taking back control, right, should have meant, you know what, we're going to take back control of our trains and our utilities. That's what taking back control should have meant, right? Because no matter what, right, until these guys take back control of the utilities in this country, right, our bills are, they have no control over our bills. They can only have control if they take back control of our utilities, right? And it doesn't look like anybody is in the frame anywhere to do that, Right, that's the only control. That's the only control we should have been taking back. Right, when we're looking at taking back control, people like Jacob Rees-Mogg, yeah, who just wants a complete disaster so he can make a load of money out of this bullshit. Like people like Rishi Sunak, who made a hell of a lot of money on the night of Brexit, voting against this country. So he made a hell of a lot of money on the night of Brexit, right? And then you want to put him down as Chancellor. Well, good luck with that. Oh, Mick Jagger said, Brexit is not a success. Touring has been an absolute nightmare. So says Mick Jagger. I don't even know if he's a Brexiter, but something, because I've never found out. I don't really like to find out about people's politics, because once I find out about people's politics, if it's someone that I like, I can never watch them again. Do you know what I mean? Like yesterday, I found out that John motherfucking Collins, yeah, is like a supporter of fucking UKIP, and I'm like, fucking hell. Always liked John Collins. Do you know what I mean? My whole life I've liked John Collins. Do you know what I mean? Never. Do you know what I mean? I've just liked to see him in a couple of films or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I've never known anything about her until yesterday I find out that she's a, you know what I mean? And then a couple of weeks ago, yeah, I found out that Mark Wahlberg was a flipping, you know what I mean? He's had some issues with racism back in the day, and now I can't watch any of his fucking films again. And I really used to like him as an actor, and this is the reason why I don't like to know about people's politics, because once I find out about their politics, I can't watch their stuff anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like John Wayne, do you know what I mean? Once I find out the motherfucker was a racist, I'm just like, you know what, fuck him. I can't watch his shit no more. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to have anything to do. I don't want to know anything about those people. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I always, if I like movie stars or whatever, I never find out, never ever find out. But then when it comes out and I find out, I think, oh shit. Do you know what I mean? Because I know what's going to happen. I just can't watch their stuff. Like Rowan Atkinson, after finding out his brother is a fucking UKIP councillor or whatever, it's like, oh, bollocks. I love Rowan Atkinson. Do you know what I mean? Brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Just a brilliant comedian. Can't watch him anymore, because every time I watch him, I'm just thinking, you was brought up in a fucking house where someone's a fucking UKIP, where someone turned up a fucking UKIP councillor. What the fuck? So, look, I've gone so far off my time, but because I was talking about this story from America, isn't it, for so bloody long. Right. US delegates have insisted it's down to London to break the deadlock over the Irish Protocol. But the UK have an ally in Turkey who are backing Britain to the hilt, right, over Nancy Pelosi's, what Nancy Pelosi said. And you know what it is? I've just found out, obviously, that there's a very strong Greek lobby, right, within the US, in the USA. The very strong Greek lobby, right, obviously. I don't think there's a Turkish lobby, but there's a very strong Greek lobby, and obviously that them guys have had. So the Turks have come firmly on our side and said, you know what, we got your back. We're gonna back you all the way. So, I mean, we got some Turkish delight gonna hold us up, but shit, they are pretty brown, So, what do you think? Do you think the racists will be like, oh, well, we'll accept help from anywhere, even from the fucking brown and the blacks. We'll accept the help. Look how good we are with Priti Patel, because she does all the racist stuff that we need her to do. Anyway, guys, look, I've got to bow out of here because this is the longest video I've done for so long. Do you know what I mean? But I did speak about that American story for quite a bit of time, so you have to give me a break on that. And plus, I didn't do a video last week Friday, so, boom, boom. Anyway, guys, look, I've got to bow out of here. This is By Any Means Necessary. I'm the MC John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.